the crazy thing is, leading up to the first fight, got very serious, did a new camp at Extreme Couture. 2 fights got canceled, finally happened the 3rd time, but then I got cut and had to change up a lot of things. But was able to still go out there and get the win, was very determined to win the Brave Combat Federation belt, because that was what I set out to do when I first signed with the promotion. Second fight coming in, I, in a sense, had to fight a rematch against a person I already beat, which to me didn't make sense, but Brave saw it as a split decision, and Kosi put up a good case, and I had to fight him again. So for me, motivation-wise, I wasn't too excited to fight a guy I already beat. Resume-wise, it wasn't helping me. And in that first fight, even though it was a split decision, in that fight, I could have done a lot more. I was just very relaxed and lackadaisical, too much to where it became a split decision. That was my fault. But in the second fight leading up to it, I was enjoying life a little more than I should have. Going out, partying, doing whatever, not taking it as serious, not having much of a sleep schedule. Again, everything, I was still training, I still made weight, I cut everything properly, but I went in there not with much motivation, thinking he wasn't gonna change his game plan as much. And I forgot how hungry of a fighter he was in that first fight and how much he was ready to redeem himself that second fight. That when I went in there, I was very, whatever. I took it as a sparring match. He didn't hit hard, I'm like, it's fine. But his punches were doing a difference to my body. Even though I felt fine, my body's telling me something different. And now I'm getting swollen, I'm getting bruised, and I end up getting cut. This one explodes, the next one finally he's able to land an elbow, and now I'm in panic mode to where I can't see and I have to forfeit the match. For me, after the fight, it was like, man, I really do care. I've had 41 MMA fights in total from amateur to pro. I've accomplished many things that people don't accomplish in their 30s, nevertheless their entire career. So for me, I in a sense got content, which is something I always say is the worst enemy. Once you get content, the hungry people are gonna start to take the plate off of your food. And for me, I pushed forward, but once I lost, I was like, man, I really want this, not the belt. I mean, the belt's always the main goal. It was the fact of, I don't wanna lose to somebody I believe and know I could beat. And now I'm not just losing to somebody, I have scars to remember for the rest of my life. So for this camp, I was helping another teammate named Lazy Boy get ready for his debut. I ended up really, meeting up and knowing Miguel Gonzalez, my new coach from Mexico City, and I decided to hire him. I was like, hey man, Lazy Boy had a great camp. I saw what you were doing with him, all the people that you got to focus on with him, and it was amazing. For me, my entire professional career, I've been by myself. I travel and train at these amazing gyms and travel and train with amazing fighters and sometimes coaches, but even with those coaches, I'm by myself. They're not going to my fights. They're not telling me what to do. They're helping me sometimes during that day and motivation and mental health wise, and even just going, hey, these are the things you might do to better help yourself in the next training, but I've never had someone there. Decided to hire Miguel Gonzalez to come on up, and he's been with me for, I think, almost about 10 weeks now. And away from his family, away from his home, to watch me gain this belt, to help me by my side. And so for me, I've hired a coach. I'm like Mr. T or Clubber Lang in Rocky 3. I've been doing everything by myself. So finally, I have someone helping me, and someone really, not just as a training partner, not just as a competitor and a friend, but in a sense a brother, because I can not just go to him about the physical attributes of MMA, but hey man, sometimes I need to talk, sometimes I need to vent. And him as a fighter who cuts weight, knows the nutrition, knows the struggles, the bumps and bruises, the ups and downs of his career, it's nice to have someone around my age as well to talk to. So that's been the biggest thing about my camp of the changes. He's been putting me through strength and conditioning. I never do strength and conditioning. I hate strength and conditioning. I've been doing, sparring with really, really big guys, getting ready for this fight, trying to get my conditioning top of the game. I sparred 7 rounds my last sparring day before heading over here, straight with high level guys. The last 2 were with Patchy Mix, who's another world champion. So it's been a phenomenal experience. And I think because of my last fight, it's made me that much better. I helped Nkosi get much better for the second fight, and he's helped me get better for the third one. So you're gonna see the best Nkosi Torres for the third. Some I talked about already. He's a very hungry fighter, and using my name helps. You beat me, it's a big thing, and I'm happy about that. I'm very fortunate in my career, but because of that, I also got very content. Because I beat someone once doesn't mean you can beat him again. And he showed that in the second fight. Even though I felt comfortable and the fight was slowly going my way, I got cut. That happened in a fight. I didn't adapt well, and he took full advantage of it, and I had to retire. So for me, going into this third fight, I had to really realize, do I want this or not? And literally a month after the fight, I started hitting the bag, and I didn't know how much anger I had pent up in me from the fight. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna spar, I'm gonna relax, let my body heal. I've been training for months for this guy, almost a full year really. And then I get to the bag, and this is a public gym, and I'm like attacking this bag like a dog is attacking a robber, entering the house. Like, I didn't notice how mad and pent up I was, knowing that I still love the sport and that I still want to accomplish so much more, especially, losing to someone I've already beat. It's not in my mindset. I've never lost, to someone twice. I've lost to someone once, or at least have had a close match with someone and then bested them that second time I fought them, but this has been the opposite for me. So I never want to lose a trilogy. It's my first ever trilogy, and motivation-wise, I think it's lit a new fire. I mean, I'm in the best shape ever coming into this fight. I've hired people. I'm spending more money to get prepared for this fight. I'm doing as much as I possibly can to show the best Shorty Torres, and also, for a lot of people who don't know, these cuts completely haven't healed, so this is about 5 months after the fight, give or take. The cuts on the outside have healed, but the skin on the inside might have not. So with one little strike, it could open back up, and it could be a repeat of round 2. So I need to be top tier 100% there. So if I do take a shot, I'm able to maneuver around it, or I'm able to maneuver around anything he throws, get this fight down to the ground, or at least keep the pressure so I can do what I want and maybe cause some permanent damage to him as well. So you grab me, no matter what, I'm gonna throw you. If I'm able to get a hold of you, I'm going to throw you. And that's what happened. I threw him maybe 7 times on Shorty Airlines, and I put on a spectacle because of it. But the second fight, he changed up his game plan. He didn't want to grab me. He didn't want anything to do with grappling. So he would push me or elbow me, so I'd keep my hands up, and it was hard to get a hold of him. So for me, I had to just keep it a boxing fight. I wasn't trying to take him down. I think I actually dropped him from a leg kick, and his mouthpiece fell, and I rocked him a couple times, and I'm like, come on, let's go. Let's keep on going. Let's have fun. And I took it as a sparring match. And because of that, I didn't move my head. I wasn't throwing feints. I wasn't throwing different combinations. I was just staying in front of him and make it a fun brawl. But because of that, my body took more damage than he did, and I walked out having the forfeit, and he left with my belt. The only thing I want to cause permanent damage-wise is the L on his record. I'm not a person that, again, the first fight I had an arm bar, and I just didn't want to break his arm. I knew he wasn't going to tap, but I'm like, come on, man. Like, I get injuries. I've been injured multiple times. I've had to cancel the fights. I've had 2.5 year layoffs. It's not fun, especially when we do this as a profession, and we do this to feed our families and our loved ones and just grow in our career. So, if I end up cutting them and leaving them a permanent scar, hey, I guess I owed you 1 because you gave me 3. But with this one, I just want to give him that L and show that I am better. I know he was very fearful of me the first fight, and he lost that respect to me into the second fight because he knew he can hang. And I'm glad, because I made him better. And now it's his turn to make me that much better, and I'm going to show him that on Saturday.